Okay, va? Take the heading. Pair of linear equations. Pair of linear equations. One of the easiest chapter. You can do very nice. Interesting it is. It's not a boring one. Okay. Let's see here. Actually, the original title is not pair of linear equation. Pair of linear equations in two variables. If you see, this is the title, right? Two variables. So, linear means the degree of the polynomial should be how much? 1. Correct? So, I am trying to write that ax plus, but he asked actually linear polynomial means ax plus b, like that we used to write. But he asked use two variables, meaning இன்னொரு variable I have to introduce. One variable is x here. X is the one variable. Understand? The another variable I have to use. Let me take y. Vy plus. And it is equation. When I say the word equation, there should be a equal to in that and equate it to 0. Generally, a linear equation, see, a linear equation in two variable, how it will be means, it will be ax plus by plus c equal to 0. This is the way a linear equation in two variable will look. Okay, va? And remember, any linear equation will represent what? Tell me. Any linear equation represent a straight line. What it will represent? Straight line. Keep this in mind. Any linear equation will represent a straight line. Clear? And if I ask you pair, what do you mean by pair? Two things. Oh, that means I have to write two linear equations. If I want to write two linear equations, Sanjay, how it will be? It will be a1x plus b1y plus c1 equal to 0. What is that? a1x plus b1y plus c1 equal to 0. That is one equation. Correct? Second equation, a2x plus b2y plus c2 equal to 0. This is general representation of pair of linear equation. Pair of linear equation. General representation. Clear? When I ask you, take two general equations of pair of linear equations means what will you write? a1x plus b1y plus c1 equal to 0. a2x plus b2y plus c2 equal to 0. Can you tell me some equations like that? Examples, how they will look like? Example, the equation will look like 3x plus 4y plus 7 equal to 0. Can you tell me one more? Any numbers? 5x plus 6y plus 8 equal to 0. Understood, right? Is that clear for everybody? This is general representation of the pair of linear equation. Understand? Now what I want to do is, I want to see, you said now, what you said? These each equation represent a straight line. What you said? Each equation represent, yes, equation represent a straight line. Each equation represent a straight line. I want to see that straight line. Meaning I want to draw that straight line. Clear that thing now? I want to draw that straight line. Understand? Before drawing that, before drawing that, before drawing that, what I want to do is, before drawing that, I want to discuss something. You said these two lines will represent two straight lines. Correct? These two lines will represent two straight lines. Correct? If I ask you to draw two straight lines, how will you draw? Sir, one straight line you have drawn like this. This is one straight line. Correct? Another straight line, how can you draw? Options I am telling. One straight line I have drawn like this. Another straight line I can draw exactly parallel to this. Yes, this is one option. So the two straight lines can be parallel to each other. That is one option. Correct? Second, let me draw the line one more time. This is first line. Can I write it as line 1 and this is line 2? This is line 1 I drawn like this. Okay, line 1 I drawn like this. Line 2, how can I draw? I can draw something like this, right? I can draw the second line in this manner. Yes, sir, you can draw. When you draw, what is happening between these two lines? They are intersecting each other. They are intersecting. Can I draw? Can I tell these two lines are intersecting lines? Intersecting lines. Is that clear for everybody? Now, what is the another possibility? I have drawn one line. I have drawn one line. Let me draw that line as like this. This is the line I have drawn. What is the name of that line? Line 1, let it be. This is line 1. Now, I want to draw one more line. I want to draw one more line. I can represent the second line exactly on the top of it. So, the second line is on the top of the first line. Understand that? So, this kind of representation comes under third case. What is this third case means? They are called coincidence lines. Coincidence lines. Is that clear for everybody? Coincidence lines there. Whenever there are two lines, three possibilities are there. They might be parallel, they might be intersecting, they might be coincident. They might be coincident. Now I'll ask you one question. Observe carefully. When they are parallel, okay, before going to be parallel, when they are intersecting, I'm going to the second equation. When they are intersecting, observe, is there is any common point among the two lines? Is there is any common point between the two lines? Common point means the point should belongs to both the lines. Is there is any point like that? If I select this point, it is belongs to only line 2. Correct? If I select A point, it is belongs to only line 2. If I select the B point, it is belongs to only line 1. But when I select this point C, it is belongs to both line 1 and line 2, right? That is called common point. What is that point is called? Common point. Remember that common point is known as solution. What is that common point is called as solution. Now tell me, like that common points, how many are there in this intersecting lines case? Only one. Clear for everybody? Only one is there. So I can comment that number of solutions are how many here? One. Number of solutions are one. That's why it is called unique solution. Unique solution. Number of solutions are how many in this case? Only one. That's why we call it as like unique solution. Understood? Yes. Now observe. Come to this parallel case. In parallel case, is there is any common point on both of them? Any common point is there? No common point. Can I tell? No solution. No solution in case of parallel lines. Then if I ask you one word, how many solutions are there if they are parallel? How many if I ask, you will tell? Zero. No solutions at all. Parallel case is no solution case. And particularly if I ask how many solutions, you have to tell zero solutions. Is that clear? How many intersecting points here? Zero intersecting. Understood that thing now? Now, come to the coincident lines. Come to the coincident lines. When you observe coincident lines, I am choosing one point. A. Is A point is on both line 1 and line 2 or not? B point, C point. Oh, you choose any point. It is lying on both line 1 and line 2. So, how many common points are there? Infinite. Infinite. That means number of solutions are how many? Yes. Number of solutions. How many they are? Infinite solution. Infinite solutions. Infinite solutions. Clear that thing now? Infinite solutions. Understand? Okay, everybody clear here? Everybody clear? Now I want to tell one more point. What is that one more point means? Sir, you said very clearly, good. There is one thing called, I am trying to tell one thing, solution is there or not. That's what I want to see. Observe here, in this parallel case, do we have any solution? Then we will tell the given equations are inconsistent. The given equations are inconsistent, meaning no solution. Do we have any solution for these intersecting lines? Do we have solution? Yes. When you said yes, the lines are consistent. The lines are consistent. Here do we have solution? Yes or no? Infinite or whatever. Solution we have or not? Yes, we have. So we can call it is also consistent. But remember, this is a special. We call it as dependent consistent. You can use consistent, no problem according to your textbook. If suppose particularly in option and if they give coincident lines, dependent consistent if it is there, consistence if it is there. See, consistent or consistence, don't get confused. Okay, consistence is there, then you have to tick that only for coincident lines. If the lines are coincident, about the consistency you talk means what you have to tick. If in options Only consistent is there, you will tick that. But in options, consistent is there, dependent consistency is there. Then we have to opt for dependent consistency. Is that clear for everybody? Understood? Okay. So when we will give it is a consistent, when solution is there, we will give consistent. Solution in how many ways we will get? Two ways. One is unique solution, another one is infinite many solution. So unique solution is also consistent, infinite many solutions is also consistent. Is that clear for everybody? Hero Afrans, clear, Pakka, very understood. Fine now, by seeing the equations, we can find them by seeing. Actually, not by drawing. By drawing, we can find. I don't have the graph paper now. I can't draw now. By seeing itself, I want to find whether they are parallel, whether they are intersecting, whether they are coincidence. That is what my target. What is my target? Sir, just by looking at them, I should able to find whether they are parallel, coincident, or intersect. Clear that thing now? Let's see. So remember these conditions. How the equations will be generally you said the general equations are what you said. Here we use it, sir. The general equations are a1x plus b1y plus c1 equal to 0, and another one is a2x plus b2y plus c2 equal to 0. What is a1? Coefficient of x. What is it? b1? Coefficient of y. c1 constant. What is a2? B2? What is C2? Correct? Now what we need to do is, first you get these values. A1 by A2 you get. Next what you have to get? B1 by B2 you get. Next you have to get C1 by C2. Get these values first. Get these values first. What values we have to get? Tell me. A1 by A2 and B1 by B2 and C1 by C2 values we have to get. Clear? After getting, you have to check A1 by A2, is it equal to B1 by B2 or not? Remember, if it is not equal, it belongs to intersecting. So what it should satisfy condition for it to be intersecting? A1 by A2 not equal to B1 by B2. Oh, if A1 by A2 is not equal to B1 by B2, it's correspond to intersecting lines. So when I put, I got this. What you got? A1 by A2 is equal to B1 by B2. Then you check for the third one. What is the third one? C1 by C2. Sir, but it is not equal. Oh, A1 by A2 is equal to B1 by B2, but not equal to C1 by C2. But not equal to C1 by that corresponds to parallel lines. What it is corresponds to? Parallel lines. What it corresponds to? Parallel lines. Understand? Now we will see the final condition. What is the final condition? Here A1 by A2 should be equal to B1 by B2 should be equal to C1 by C2. Then what do we call? The lines are coincident lines. Then the lines are said to be coincidental lines. Lines are said to be coincident lines. Is that clear for everybody? Any confusion? No confusion. Correct? Correct? Understand everybody? I hope it is clear for everyone. Okay, it is clear for everyone, right? Fine. I hope it is seen. Now observe, I want to ask something. Whom should I ask? Gautam, please stand up. Can you tell me how the two lines represent? How will you represent the two lines? Two lines. If, line 1 and line 2. How will you write? General formulas. General representation of two straight lines. General representation of two straight lines. Okay, sit. I'll come back to you. Gia, stand up. How will you represent two straight lines? General representation of two straight lines. Two straight lines I want to represent. Sit. Sanjeev, stand up. A1x plus B1y plus, very good. Another line. Very good. Correct? Quite. A2x plus B2y plus C2 equal to 0. Stand up. These two lines can be what on the graph. If I draw them, how they will look like. They may be, the two lines may be parallel lines. The two lines may be intersecting. The two lines may be coincident. Can you repeat? If I plot these two lines, whatever he has chosen, they might be parallel lines. They might be intersecting. They might be coincident. Clear that thing? If they are parallel, how many solutions they will have? No solution. Zero solution. Clear? If they are intersecting, how many solutions will be having? That's why it is called as, very good. If they are coincident, how many solutions they will be having? Infinite solutions. Very good. Is that clear for everybody? Now I want to talk about the consistence. Okay. If lines are parallel, do you call it as consistent lines or inconsistent lines? Why are you calling it as inconsistent lines? Because solution is not there. Consistent when I will call? If there is a solution. Yes or no? Okay. If the lines are intersecting, can I call it as consistent or inconsistent? Can I call it as consistent? Yes, I can call. Why? Because it is having the solution. Very good. If two lines are coincident, can I call it as consistent? Yes, you tell. Yes. Dependent, consistent. Very good. Understand? Can you tell me what is the condition for parallel lines? To recognize parallel lines, which condition you will follow? A1 by A2 is equal to B1 by B2 not equal to C1 by C2, that represents the given two lines are parallel. We no need to draw. Just this condition if we check, we can tell the two lines are parallel. Understand? Next, second one, intersecting lines. What is the condition? Correct? What is the condition for coincident lines? Clear for everybody? Everything is clear? Sit. Very good. He said very good. Claps. Okay. Now I will ask Pranay. Stand up, Pranay. By the time you should become perfect in this, everything you should able to tell. Okay, Pranay. Arambigilama. Huh? Fine. If I ask, if I said you, the given lines are inconsistent. I said you, given lines are inconsistent. Which condition you will take and check? Which condition it will follow? Inconsistent lines. A1 by A2 is not equal to wrong. Inconsistent lines means parallel lines. Parallel lines condition is what? A1 by A2 is not equal to C1 by C2. Repeat parallel lines condition. A1 by A2 is not equal to C1 by C2. Repeat. A1 by A2 is equal to C1 by C2 is not equal to C1 by C2. Repeat. A1 by A2 is equal to B1 by B2 is not equal to C1 by C2. For what it is? Parallel. Or else what else they can ask? Or else what they can ask? No solution. Yes or no? No solution. Parallel. Inconsistent. Whatever they ask. What is the weapon I will use? A1 by A2 equal to B1 by B2 not equal to C1 by C2. Clear? C1 by. Understood? Next. Next question. Sit. You stand up, Lalit. I said the lines are consistent. The lines are consistent. Which equation you will try to take? Very good. Yes or no? If I say consistent, you have to take any one of them. No problem. Clear that thing now? But preferably, you take intersecting lines. You take. Understand? Now, unique solution, which case will be having? Intersecting line. Everybody okay? Wa? Yes? Pokka? Sure. What are the three conditions? Alone repeats it. You have to tell. Condition for what it is. Or else for parallel lines, this is the condition. For intersecting lines, this is the condition. For coincident lines, this is the condition. You have to repeat me. Repeat. For parallel lines. Tell. For parallel lines. Okay, da. He gave me another idea. You ask this also. Parallel lines. You tell no solution. You tell inconsistent. And you tell full equation. Clear that thing now? Like that intersecting lines. Unique solution. Consistent. And condition. Like that coincident lines. What do you have to tell? Can you please do that? Okay, one by one I will ask. One set you tell, other set, like that. You have to tell. Stand up. Which one you will choose? Parallel. Tell me.